Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be unboxing and reviewing the LEGO Star Wars set number 75369 Boba Fett Mech. And so to start this off, we will be taking a look at the package itself. Just don't mind the little bit of damage on here. This was, on clearance, and to be honest, it's it's on the cheaper side of LEGO sets, and it's honestly, it's honestly fine. It's not that big of a deal. That doesn't really matter anyway, but, we can take a look at it regardless. So, on the front here, we do get a look at the set itself. It looks kind of interesting, but I'll hold my judgments for now until we can get to the review portion of this video. The background's pretty basic. We do get some background detail and landscape and stuff. And look at a small little plant over there. Maybe Coruscant, I don't know. But I do know that down here we do get a look at the included minifigure in here, of course being Boba Fett. And up here we do get the LEGO logo, the Star Wars logo, the recommended age, the number, the name, and the number of parts used to build this set. Yeah, but pretty cool. Up here at this top thing, we do get a quick little background showing a little bit of brick built package art, which looks nice, I guess. And we also get a one-to-one comparison look at the included minifigure. And over at this side, we do get a look at the package from how it looks on this side. Here's what it looks from the bottom. And here is how the set looks, how this box looks from the side. Another shot of pretty much it's the exact same shot as the front, just shrunken down and on the side. Then we can turn this again, and we can take a look at the back. So the back shows us a different display. Of the set. Here we do get a look at the mech without Boba Fett. We also got a different background, and we also got not only a little play feature demonstration illustration here of the included a stud shooter, but we also get a little bit of advertisements for a couple of other sets in this line, that being the Darth Vader one and the Stormtrooper thing. Okay, and we also get a little punch hole thing, punch tab thing here on the bottom, and so we can get as a way to open the box. So we can do that, and while I could just use the brick separator to just stab it into under the flap and open it by sliding it side to side to open it with minimal damage. Let's be honest, the box is pretty damaged anyway. So, not likely to keep the box anyway. So let's just go ahead and actually just use that and damage the box regardless. Not that big of a deal. After that, we can of course dump out the contents and just throw the box aside. So here we do get a look at the packaging here. We do get four separate bags, but we also get the instructions. So here we have the instructions. So we can here's how they look from the back, and we can of course turn this back page here to take a look at all the parts listings for these last couple pages. You can tell that there's an interesting variety of pieces in here. But I'm also just noticing that all the stuff in this bag is considered just one part. Interesting. Very interesting. And if we turn the page one more time, we do get a little bit of advertisements for other sets. Not only this set and the ones featured on the back of the box, the Star Wars mechs, but also a few other ones on this page. That being this whole a base thing here. We also got this little robot, droid looking robot set thing. We also got a Yoda's a starship thing. Pretty neat set, I guess. And also, this will a Ahsoka battle pack thing. Also pretty neat, I guess. I have I have taken a look at this set if you're interested in that. And that's it for the back. Is there anything notable in the front? Not really. That's it. That's pretty much it for the instructions. So we can of course take a look at the parts in this bag, and the parts included in these bags. So we can of course dump that out, toss it to the side, and take a look at the parts in here. Well, I guess this is all included as one singular part. I don't know. I guess these are parts that are just getting molded together. Or whatever. We do get 4 of these helmet brim pieces and 4 of these antenna pieces, all done in the same dark gray color. So there is that. We can, of course, take a look at bag 1 first. So let's open that. Boom. So in here, we do get a look at the parts in here. We do have this base thing that the mech is going to be built upon. And I'm okay. Kind of a basic standard piece. I doubt it would allow a simple thing like waist rotation, but oh well, it's fine. We got this part thing in black. We also got this, which is one of those modern mech armor pieces, torso armor chest pieces in dark green, so that's cool. We also got parts for the minifigure. Oh, where's the head? Why do I not see the head? I'm sure it's just hiding somewhere. But yeah, here's guns and stuff. There's that. Not sure where the head went. Maybe that's in another bag. Ooh! These are cool. So we got a couple of these pieces in light gray. So apparently these look like 1x4s, but not only are the edges more rounded off, but the studs at each end are the hollow stud connection. So you can stick a bar connection through each of these studs at the ends. So got 2 of those in light gray. That's pretty sick. I think I've only gotten these before in black, I want to say. Yeah, I think I gotten this. Still like a very interesting piece. Oh, this is cool. Got some nice parts and got 4 of these cylinder pieces and 1 of these brackets in dark blue. We also got 1x2 in sand blue. This piece in the Keat orange color, that's interesting. And like, not a whole lot going, not like some interesting parts here in the sand green, some cool parts in some like standard pieces in dark green. We got this interesting like print thing going on here. And I'm also just noticing that this print seems to be a little bit misaligned. Like it's a little bit off, as you can see. Funny how that is. Well, regardless, the printing itself does look pretty neat. It's just ever so slightly misaligned. Got some interesting brown pieces. Got a couple, or a few of these Mexel ball joint pieces. So that's nice. Always nice to get those. And that's about it for first bag. Let's get into second. Pour these out. Now, for this bag, there are some interesting parts in here. So first of all, we have 2 of these, which is very interesting. They're in the Keat orange color, and they have technicals through them. That's nice. Very interesting. Ooh, we got 2 of these. These parts have been showing up in more recent sets. That's cool. 2 of those in light gray. 2 of these SCCPS limb pieces in dark gray. More of these parts, but this time we got 2 of them in dark gray. We also got gray tooth pieces. We got... Ooh, these are interesting, like snot pieces. Snot brick pieces. And we also got a couple of... Let's see, is it a couple or is it just one? I thought there was a second one. Oh, this part in gray, that's neat. Got a few nice sand blue colored pieces. Yeah, like, taking a look at... Oh yeah, there's a second one. 2 of these in light gray, which these look pretty neat. It'll look pretty neat. So, yeah, and the rest of the parts in here are just, like, very basic, I guess. And of course we do get bag 3. That's our last bag. So let's take a good look at this stuff in here too. So in here we got 2 more of these SCCBS limb pieces. We got 2 of these pieces in black. We got the stud shooter piece, as well as the trigger for it. So boom, this snaps in pretty easily. We also got 2 of these more rounded, like more dome-like pieces in Keat orange. Ooh, these vent pieces. It's like textured pieces in sand blue. That's nice. There are some interesting like colors in here. There are 2 of these sort of Well, I'm not exactly sure what these are supposed to be. I guess droid heads, because I believe these are originally used as BB-8's head, BB-8's headpiece. I believe that's what this is used for originally. Got two of those in gray unprinted, so I guess that's neat. Now one of these, which is pretty interesting little Technic adaptive piece. This part in light gray, very nice to get, very cool. Some flick fire missiles. You got some flick fire missiles. Cool. Yeah, and the rest of it is just regular parts in interesting colors. Or just regular parts. Not a whole lot to talk about here, but still pretty neat, I think. So overall, there are some interesting parts in here, but there are some interesting parts that I see in here, but overall it's fine in terms of a parts pack. I think it's adequate. It has a nice amount of basic pieces, as well as a nice little variety of interesting pieces in interesting colors. So there is that. So let's go ahead and move these off to the side so I can put this thing together. And then after I put them together, I'll be right back. Oh, before I do that, I just found Boba Fett's Boba head. It's right here. It was apparently just off camera, down here the whole time. Didn't even see it. Well, good thing I found that. Okay, and with that, here I have the mech fully put together and ready to start the review portion of the video. So to start the review, we're of course going to take a look at the minifigure included. So here we do have Boba Fett right here. Yeah, not looking too bad, looking rather nice. Does have a lot of good printing on him. Very cool, very, very nice. Does have a simple gun with just your typical Lego double-ended, barreled blaster thing with a lightsaber hilt attached to it. Very neat. He does have this sand green backpack piece, jetpack piece. He does have sand blue legs. Cool helmet with nice printing, and also a little antenna piece. Very neat. And we can, of course, remove the helmet to get a good look at that face print. Very nice. Very cool. And you can turn him around to reveal not another face print, but more of these scars and stuff that are also present here on his actual face. Come on. There we go. You can see the scarring on his face. Yeah, pretty neat. I actually wonder how this minifigure of Boba Fett compares to another one I've gotten in a previous set, that being his microfighter this little microfighter set. So if we take a look at this one, immediately I can tell that there is some major differences. First of all, his legs are done in gunmetal with the black waist piece, whereas all the legs and the waist pieces done in sand blue here, as well as all the torso, the arms and hands are done in black here, and here it's done up in light gray for the torso and hands, and sand blue for the arms. The jetpacks are the same. The helmets are the same mold, but I'm also, on helmets, I'm noticing a bit of a difference too. So on the helmets, I'm noticing a difference in printing. Because on this one, I'm noticing that this one has these red lines, whereas on here they're yellow. I'm also noticing that this one has way more silver here, not only in little battle damage, not only like battle damage, but you also see it on the sides here, and a slight brim on the top here. That also might be representing battle damage, but I don't know. And also little silver dots. I was expecting these to look pretty similar, if not identical, but nope, these two Boba Fett minifigures look very different. Like, aside from the guns and like the overall shaping of the guns, the jetpack, and the like mold that the helmet uses, like, these are very like differently styled minifigures of the same character. Interesting. And if we take a look at this, you can tell that even the heads are different. You can tell that the heads are mostly the same here. Yeah, you can tell that the heads are mostly the same here, and even has the scarring in the same areas. Need to like take a close look at that. But a major difference I'm seeing here is that the one that included in this set appears to have somewhat appear to have a 5 o'clock shadow. Very interesting. That's pretty much. Oh yeah, and the expression on his face is slightly different. Just slightly. You can tell that his eyebrow is raised a little bit higher on this one, with a slight smirk on his face for this one. Very interesting. Very interesting. And I don't believe that this Boba Fett comes with the gray antenna piece, but considering that I have the 3 other ones left over from that little like baggie, plus the 3 that were left over from the Captain Rex like microfighter set, I could just add it here and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So yeah, 2 Boba Fetts. Very nice. Very neat. So let's move that off to the side so we can focus more on the actual sets here. So here we have Boba Fett. Looking nice. Looking way more different than I was expecting. Oh yeah, and something else I'm just noticing. Like, mostly thanks to the added silver here. My camera is actually picking up. I think it's I think the red is done in a slightly lighter shade here, so that my camera picks up the contrast between the visor and the red details on the visor a bit more obviously than on here, where I'm only just noticing that. Like, you can see that. Yeah, you can see that, like, from my camera angle, from what my camera sees, you can see that the more dark red printing likes to blend in with the black visor, making the visor look way more lot larger than it actually is. Whereas on this one, there's more contrast, and you can actually see what's going on somewhat. Very cool. Very nice. Very nice. A lot of differences with these two. Very cool. But enough about the minifigures. Let's take a look at the set itself, which is probably not all that interesting, to be honest. It's definitely something. It's such... What do I say about this? Well, this chest panel thing can flip down, so you can attach slide Boba Fett onto this black piece. You can slide his legs onto that without removing his backpack. That's a nice jetpack. That's a nice touch, I guess. You can also remove his gun and store it on either of these clips over here on the waist. So you can just, like, I guess, clip it onto, like, there to have it somewhat holstered. To have it, like, holstered on his robot, on his mech. And you can, of course, flip this up. And there we have the mech full. There we have Boba Fett piloting his mech. This is such a strange thing for Boba Fett to have. This is honestly a strange thing for any Star Wars character to have, because I don't believe there were actually like humanoid mechs like this in any of Star Wars's like media. I could be wrong. You can put it down in the comments if you can put down an instance of a mech like this actually being in something Star Wars related. But accuracy out the window, regardless to accuracy, it looks neat, I guess. It looks neat. It has Boba Fett's. The mech does definitely makes me... Well, first of all, it has a lot of the details and stuff that are on, the minifigure itself. So, I guess this is supposed to be, either, a large, enhanced body, mech body that the minifigure is in. So, I guess kind of an Iron Man situation. Either, an Iron Man or War Machine kind of situation. But with Star Wars, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It has, the mech has a lot of the details that you would typically see on the actual character. The front print here on this torso is laid out in the same way as the actual chest print on Boba Fett. On his back, we have that jetpack thing. We have that jetpack thing using the thrusters and stuff. It even has the jetpack missile thing, which actually fires because it does happen to use one of those flick fire missiles in its intended use, that being a flick fire missile. Ooh, I got a good shot out of that one. Let's see if I can get another good one. Pretty neat. Cool. Flick fires still work. But not only that, from what I noticed, this doesn't seem to be advertised in the set, but it can easily be removed to reveal just that base, that torso base plate thing that they used. It honestly attaches very similar to that Z-Blob mech I've taken a look at a little while ago. It basically connects on a very similar way. Pretty much the same way. Do like how this back thing is assembled. That's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. the arms, like they have the shoulder thing. They have the shoulder things, but here they have this like red part here, which is, I guess, it's supposed to represent this like Mandalorian like symbol, but like whatever. Each arm does have these like forearm mounted like flick fire missiles that don't do anything. They're really just there for detail, for added detail. Why did that part fall off of all parts? Like whatever, like you can tell that like the shoulders are built pretty much the same way, but they're using slightly different parts and the same like sand blue piece from the opposite sides to give it a little bit more of a asymmetrical look, as they say. And on this gun, we do have, on this hand, we have this very simply made gun blaster thing. I'm not sure how to feel about this, because to me it kind of looks like it has a lightsaber. To me it kind of looks like Boba Fett. It definitely makes it more obvious if I do this. It makes it look like that Boba Fett's mech has a lightsaber hilt, but instead of like firing up a lightsaber blade, energy blade, it ends up like just like transforming into this gun thing. It looks weird. I'm honestly not too pleased with how this gun thing looks. Not only does it look very awkward in the hilt area, but there's also the base thing here, which is just made up of these roundish pieces, which doesn't make it look that much like a gun. The barrel is, like gun barrel is like at an awkward angle, and the scope, not only can it, I guess there's some angles, because this turns, I guess there are some angles where you can have Boba Fett look through the scope, but ultimately doesn't really matter, because the trigger, because like the gun barrel and trigger for the gun barrel is ultimately in the way of the scope, rendering that pretty much useless. And even if you like push this down and ultimately just firing the weapon, which does fire pretty far with a good hit, it's still not fully out of the way. Like, you're still not going to be able to see clearly with that scope. So that ultimately doesn't really work. I'm probably definitely going to take this apart, because this does not seem to work, unfortunately. Yikes. The lower torso, it's pretty simple. It does use like brown pieces to represent like a belt sort of look or whatever. What the heck? Yeah, like one of these BB-8 heads just fell off. I need to go find that. Okay, found it. It was under the tripod. Okay. Reattach that real quick. Alright. The legs. That's right, I haven't talked about the legs. So the legs are rather simple. They do try to do something interesting here with the knees, where they try to fill the knees out with these cylinder pieces, with these round pieces to like bulk out the knees. Because there are no actual studs here on the knee itself, they they end up like attaching these from a different angle because you see this part has this Technic pin and they're using this Technic connection to attach it from the thigh. And with that, like that's pretty neat, I guess. It's a simple thing, but I guess it works. I guess it works for this part, this particular like part. And then we move on to the feet. They're pretty simple, but I do find the like toe design kind of interesting. It does have that like spiky like toe design, which I guess is pretty neat. And yeah, like we can also talk about articulation. It does have ball joints at the shoulders with good range. Each finger can individually articulate. Not the thumbs, though. The thumbs are not posable. This can, of course, hinge out and in. The ball joints at the hips, they have okay articulation movement, and of course the ankles. They also have good range. So overall it pretty much has like very basic articulation. Oh, and of course the rotation of the minifigure head. Not sure if that really counts for the mech's articulation, but like it's something that you can pose around with the mech as well. So there is that. And aside from that, I really don't have a whole lot else to talk about. It's one of those like simple like little like mech sets that I've seen Marvel and DC superhero comic characters get a lot. And it's honestly kind of weird seeing Star Wars getting in on this as well. Like a Star Wars getting in on this. Like, it honestly doesn't feel like realistic in the Star Wars universe, I guess. I don't know. I honestly don't know how to feel about this because, like, humanoid mechs are not something I usually see from, like, Star Wars. From any facet of Star Wars. Like, from Star Wars, like, yes, they do pilot, like robotic, like, things on legs and stuff. But it's usually, like, not, like, but it's usually, like, not in the typical style of this. Because they have the, like, walkers and things and stuff like that, but they were never humanoid. Those, like, mech sort of things, those, like, armored, like, pilot, those, like, they, like, typical, like, stuff that you would, the typical, like, stuff that, like, Star Wars characters would pilot in those things. They're usually, like, never, like, humanoid like this. And especially not, themed around, not, like, heavily themed around the character that is piloting the mech. It just seems like kind of a weird thing. See, yeah, it feels kind of weird for Star Wars to do something like this, but I'm not saying it's like inherently bad. It's just something that I don't really expect from Star Wars, that's all. And overall, the mech itself looks fine. There's some details I like about it, but overall it's honestly, like, I honestly think it's better off like being used for parts. To be honest, like it's not really a whole lot here. And even for like a robot mech thing, it has a lot of the basic like parts that like don't allow for much movements, because a lot of it is built around like these basic pieces, which admitted like the SCCBS limb pieces, which I will admit I've kind of grown into these parts over time. I've started using these in more mocks, but like to be honest, they're still like very like basic parts. They're like large parts that can't that like it's like it, at the very least like pretty challenging to use for stuff that isn't just basic like limbs. Basic like limb pieces. Like there's not like there's stuff that people can make out of these parts that are not like arms or legs. It's just like not as easy to do. And with the added misery of the torso being based off of this like basic part thing, which also restricts waist rotation, which I've seen these have in the past. I don't know. It still looks okay. I think. There's just certain things about it that I don't like. Like the SCCBS limbs, but I've expected these. Something I wasn't really expecting, though, was the flick-fire missile. That's nice. I think that was nice. But also, the gun. This gun has got to be my least favorite thing about this mech. The gun just looks absolutely not great. The gun looks very tacked on. Which means I could just easily just remove this and like use it as more parts. And yeah, like that honestly looks fine. On its own, that honestly looks a little bit better. Because who needs like this clunky like blaster thing when he has these forearm mounted guns and if you like utilize your imagination, you can pretend that these fingers, you can pretend that you can fire you can fire like projectiles out of his fingers, kind of Dinah Zenon style in that aspect. Plus, he also has the jetpack so he can fly, and like yeah, you can bend him. You can like bend him over so he can also utilize the missile. Like, okay. There's definitely some redeeming aspects of this mech thing. And so like if this is like something that you're into, I definitely think it would be worth getting at least once. But definitely, like, remove the gun, because this is just holding the set back, I think. And with that, I think that's pretty much it for this unboxing and review. If you enjoyed this video, consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.